What's up, my good people? What's up, my good people? Wake up with me. It's your man, Trayvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. Yes. I think I want to fix this camera angle. Let me see. All right. It is the last Monday of the month, and this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. So it's only right that we end it off on this topic, this discussion. If you click the link, then you know what we're discussing today. Last week, we spoke on the scams. Is the self-help industry a scam? It's therapy, psychology, coaches, mentors, is all of this stuff just a scam to play on people's emotions, play on people's mental. We've uncovered that, yes, there is a bit of that out there, but no, this is a tool for you and your self development. So do not ever get that confused and thinking that you are wrong or you are weak or you are less than or outside of yourself to seek any type of assistance. It's a tool, it's a part of self development. You know what I mean? Like, it's education. You don't go to a school and be, or like decide not to go to school, but say, I'm gonna go be a professional in this area, right? You go learn, you go to those who are professionals in those areas to learn some more, right? And then you have that about yourself. Similar. Anyhow, so this week, I want to welcome you all. Uh, let me get my stuff together. Thank you all for being here. You all for being here throughout the month. Mental Health Awareness Month. How you doing? I want to know that you are, feeling even better. I want to see your progress throughout the month. So please comment, DM, email, reach out to me. Everything is accessible, and we're gonna get into it right now. Uh, Again, my name is Trayvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. So, do you really know who you are? Simple question, right? So simple that a lot of people would like look at it as a rhetorical question, but it's not rhetorical. Can you answer that question? Do you know who you are? Answer that. And a lot of people automatically go to title, right? And it sounds good, it looks good. You can collect all these titles. We usually go to describe yourself. You go to your occupation. Oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a dentist, I'm a, mail handler, I'm a, you know what I'm saying? You usually go to occupation or entrepreneurial venture, something that's gonna make you stand out, look good. I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a man, I'm a woman. We usually, go to those surface levels of identity. Like, I can see that, but do you know who you are? Who are you? Do you know who you are? I'm remembering like the Lion King and Mufasa was in the clouds, had to tell Simba, like, remember who you are. Because a lot of us within this self-development journey, within this realm, a lot of us have not identified ourselves. And we have not connected with ourselves. Therefore, you cannot be your authentic self if you don't know who you are. You are acting and wonder why you are mentally out of it. You're mentally out of it because of how you are acting. And how you're acting does not align with you. So I hope you brought your pen and pad because we're gonna get some action done today. We're gonna get some action done today. And I'm telling you, man, it's about to be great. So I encourage you to comment, ask any questions, bring your pen and pad because it's time to get into it, right? So define self-identity. Who defines you? Who defines you? Okay? Only you can do that. And I know a few people that's watching is gonna be like, only you or only God. God is within you, it's automatically there. Only you could define you. You know your spirit, and your spirit is that energy. Have you been clashing with it? Have you been listening to it? Have you been going off of your gut? Your gut is usually right. That first thought is usually the one you should go you should act on, right? Who defines you? Only you could define yourself. Never let others define who you are. You show others who you are by being yourself authentically. Now, I know that this sounds, and it's simple, but as simple as it is, you'll be amazed at how many people. That's the reason why we have so many people on a self-discovery journey. I'm trying to figure out myself. It's because we don't know who we are. And I ain't gonna go down the rabbit hole of all of the reasons why, but I will mention that again, we are acting outside of ourselves for an identity that is not ours. We're trying to get the result or the image of something that we are not. And it's funny because I could pinpoint it and I'd be like laughing to myself. I'd be like, oh, you going through an identity crisis. Right? Until you know who you are, uh, man. So who defines you? Only you could define you. And once you know who you are, once you have a sense of self identity shapes our choices, our habits, and our mindset. So once you get a sense of who you are, then you can make better choices for you, like literally for you. You know, FOMO, fear of missing out. Somebody invites you to something that you really don't want or don't feel like would be the best thing for you. You choose not to go. For you, that was the best thing. For them, they might have had a great time, you know? But what was right for you? You can't even make accurate or good decisions until you know who you are. We always improving. You don't know what to improve if you don't know you. If you don't got a good sense of who you are, how do you know what to improve? I've done it. I've done it, man. I've done it whole. I look back at like the popularity, right? Popularity contest. peer pressure of high school. I was one who, in my era, we had the big white tees, baggy clothes. I was one who had that stuff and was like, I feel silly. I feel silly. I feel like I look crazy. Like, I didn't want skinny, skinny but I wanted stuff to fit. But that wasn't the move at the time. That wasn't the trend at the time. So I felt silly, but I did it. There were times where I knew right from wrong, but I knew the wrong would get me some type of leverage, some type of laughs, some type of credibility with the crowd. So yeah, I acted out, but I knew inside that that wasn't me. I would walk away like, why you even do that? Why you even do that? Have you asked yourself that lately? When it comes to defining yourself, you got to talk to yourself. Why would I even entertain that? Are you gaining from it or is it draining you? True question. True question. I'll get stories and references all throughout this show. So another time when I acted outside of myself, or no, uh, when you know who you are, they say standing on business, right? They say you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. When you know who you are, you can set your own boundaries, your own principles, your own morals, your own beliefs, all of what you think, so that you are moving freely through this world. You don't have to put on a mask. You don't have to worry about if someone sees you. You have a thing called integrity. That's when you are the same person on and off the court. You're not just showing up for the game with all of this momentum. You're the same person off the court. What you do in the dark will come to light. Fine. I don't got to worry about that because what I do in the light, I do in the dark too. It's ease of mind when you are your authentic self. It's ease of mind. You don't have to think how to be. You can just be you. See, that comes with self-awareness. That comes with self-acceptance. If you accept yourself, let me tell you something. If you can accept yourself, what is embarrassment? Embarrassment happens when you don't want somebody to see something about you. It was so embarrassing. I know many people who are clumsy. I'm one of them. I know that about myself. I think it's pretty common. All of us fall sometimes. It can be comical. I laugh at myself. I'm not embarrassed. It ain't like nobody else has ever fallen before. I be weak. Be weak off me. So it's like that's so embarrassing. Or like I'm willing to admit I don't know stuff. So many people want to act like they know just to flow with the conversation or to be a part amongst the group. And everybody's just acting. Maybe one person out that group actually knows what's going on. So here we shortstop the communication because if you don't know and you don't say you don't know because you don't want to be embarrassed, hmm, might be going on a tangent here. Let me bring it back. But once you know who you are, That comes with self-awareness, it comes with self-acceptance. You accept yourself so much that there is no embarrassment. I know who I am. You could laugh, I could laugh too. Does not matter. I still know who I am. Your opinion of me does not shape my belief of me. Hello? So once you become steadfast on who you are, it's ease of mind because you don't have to think how to be. That's a bar. That's big. So many of us are thinking like from the decisions from when we wake up, you're thinking about what to put on, how to look, how you gonna dress, how you gonna smell, all based on outside of you. You hope you get a compliment or these people like, or this the trend, this is what the here older people say, this what the kids doing, this what the kids are wearing, you know, trying to stay hip, trying to stay with the times. If you don't got it, you don't got it. You don't got to go outside yourself, huh? If you don't like it, you could try. I ain't telling you not to try stuff. Try some things, but if you don't like it, even if you get compliments on it, if you don't like it, there's people that can't stand their own perfume, but somebody else, loves it, so they keep wearing it. That's outside of you, right? But once you are solidified on who you are, you're still gonna be learning yourself. You're still gonna be developing yourself throughout life because you haven't experienced everything life has to offer. But once you have some definites about who you are, you won't be able to shake, bend, budge so easily. My senior Utley, he told me that your name is not yours after a certain age. And he can go further than that. But what I would tell you is from the explanation that he gave me is that, we're talking about reputation here. We're talking about identity here. Who defines you? Only you define you. Only you define you. But, had a brain fart. Only you define you, but others will be able to move on that definition. So, what I mean by that is me being authentically myself. So many rumors have been stopped, cut short. Rumors cannot exist on my identity. I'm so authentically myself that if somebody was to try to spread something about me that did not align with me, many people who are just in my vicinity would question it. Like, that don't sound like him. You sure you got the right person? You sure you talking about the mindset dude with, that's always smiling and laughing? You talking about him? Nah, that don't sound right. Before the rumor continues, they might even come to me like, you good? I heard such and such. It's my first time hearing that too. It's the same for you. It's the same for you. Once you become solidified in who you are, it's ease of mind. You don't have to think about how to be. You can just be. And with that, everything else will shape around you. I've had that happen. People try to tarnish my name or whatnot. You can't be this good of a guy, too good to be true. The ones who want you but you're not available or not accessible. So, out of spite, out of, I don't know, jealousy, out of anger, out of whatever emotion, they'll try to spread a rumor, try to tarnish your name. But because you know who you are and you are your authentic self, that tarnishment would never hold. We wipe that off clean and keep on moving. All right. Now, here are some signs that you don't know yourself fully. I told y'all get your pen and pad because we writing today. Tell me if any of these resonate with you. You're constantly seeking validation, doing the things that I mentioned earlier. You're thinking about how someone else would think about you when it comes to your choices. You're seeking validation, you're becoming the yes man, the nice guy. So now you are willing to go outside of yourself for other people to accept you. But you don't have a leg to stand on. So it ain't nothing to accept besides you gon' bend. Right? Constantly seeking validation. Another sign, struggling with decision making. If you are indecisive, you are not fully taking yourself into consideration. You should be a priority within your decisions. You should be a priority within your decisions. True shit, but I had to learn that. I had to learn that. I had to learn to make myself the priority within my decisions. From everything, from everybody. I had to learn that because I'm a selfless person. I'm generous. I spread love. I want to help. And all of those are good. And I still got all of those things about me, but I had to learn to prioritize myself. I've been through these things. I had to learn that, the reason why I'm indecisive is because I'm thinking about what if this person or maybe that person would need, you know what, I'm about to do even more just in case somebody, you know, my FOMO, fear of missing out, I wouldn't sleep because somebody might need to talk. We talking about mindset. This ain't nothing but personal. Usually within the midnight hours is where this truth comes out. This truth of self, this pain, this, self-awareness, this I want to reach out. When people are willing to be vulnerable is when they feel the world is asleep. Now I could take the mask off. We're talking about self-identity here. Another sign you don't know yourself fully. People pleasing or shape shifting. Write it down. People pleasing or shape shifting. What I was just describing. Your decisions ain't even for you. It ain't even about you. You thinking about everybody else. You become a yes man. You don't want to tell nobody no. You want to help everybody do everything. Everybody don't need help. You don't have no proper discernment, right? I had my nephew. Now he's young. He's a little baby boy. He has a good heart. And he understands already. See, this is what I see through the mindset. He understands already how good people feel when they could teach you or tell you something. It boosts your confidence when you can tell somebody something, when you know something, and somebody comes to you and asks you a question that you know off off rip, you know it. It boosts your confidence. He knows this already. As a young boy, he knows this already. So last time he was over here, I was in the kitchen making breakfast. He comes over like, "What are you doing? What are you making?" I said, "Oh, I was making pancakes. I was making the batter." And he was like, I asked him, I said, "Do you know how to cook?" Because I wanted that moment. I missed that moment. He should have been making the batter. He should, I need, this is a teachable moment. You need to learn how to cook. But I asked him, after I kind of missed the moment, I asked him, you know how to cook?" He said, "A little bit." I said, what have you cooked before?" And he said, "Pancakes." And I said, "So why did you ask me what I was cooking, what I was doing? If you've made pancakes, that means you know what this batter looks like." And I had to tell him right there, like, don't don't lose yourself to ask a question that you know is going to please somebody else. Like, this is a obvious, you knew it, I knew it, you knew I knew it, and you was just throwing me a layup. That was people pleasing. Ain't no need for that. Ain't no need for that. Don't lose yourself for somebody else's benefit. Do not lose yourself for somebody else's benefit. Another sign you don't fully know yourself. And it's the realest sign. And only you could tell this sign. You're feeling off. Hmm? You have a gut feeling. You have a men's and women's intuition. You have the spirit inside of you that tells you right from wrong. For you, it feels off. How do you know that you're acting out of character? Hmm? How do you know that you're acting out of character? You feel off. It's a feeling. And it hits heavy. Again, you asking yourself, you doubting yourself, you asking these questions like, why am I doing this? Why would I say that? Why would I agree to this? What am I doing? What am I doing, bro? That's when you're identifying yourself. You are outside of your character at this moment. And that's the most prominent sign that you don't fully know yourself just yet. Once you can answer them questions, then put in place and move accordingly. It's going to go against what other people think. It's supposed to. You are you, not them. And that don't mean that you can't agree on some things. You'll find people who like what you like or move how you move, but you have to be authentic to yourself in order to find those people that actually align with you. Do you know who you are? So out of these, what is it, four signs that you don't know yourself fully, which resonates with you? We got constantly seeking validation, struggling with decision making, people pleasing or shape shifting, and feeling off or unfulfilled. Until you know who you are, you will never be fulfilled. Until you know who you are, you will never be fulfilled. Okay. And I think about this, right? I think about this. Uh, two things. Two things. Um, when you do clearly define who you are and you move easily with easement, uh, again, people will assume. I've had people assume my character so much. I mean, it's automatic for real. And I don't knock it. I've come to accept it that when you see me, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, even though I'm a bigger guy, it makes people automatically think that I'm a chump or I'm a pushover. Like I can get over on this person. I can say what I want and they just gonna laugh. No, even if I laugh, I still will tell you, hey, watch it. Like chill, bro. Chill. Like even if I laugh, I still could tell you no. And I accept that about myself. So that's that's gonna happen. I'm gonna laugh. I find humor in all types of things. You know, I tell people if I want, you had to laugh, not to cry. I laugh while crying. Oh man. But I've had it's almost automatic that when people first meet me, depending on where they are, they either think like, oh, he's a pushover, I can get over on him, he's a nice guy, he's a punk, just because of the smile and laugh now, just the smile and laugh, nothing else, you know what I mean? Or they'll be like, nothing phases him, you know, sometimes they could see like, in order to be the way that you are at this point, you had to have gone through something. People usually assume my character. And we say, no one can judge, but we all judge. We all judge. And it's okay, especially on the surface level, because that's there for protection. You don't know whether or not to approach somebody until you judge them. If they look unapproachable, then don't approach. If it looks dangerous, then don't approach. You know, you start to find by being authentically you, you'll start to see these types of things. You'll start to be able to define these types of things, right? And the next thing that I wanted to point out, right? We're talking about self identity. I always think about that rebellious teen phase. Do you know that the rebellious teen phase is not normal? It's not a normal thing. We've normalized it because of where we are as a society, but it's not a normal thing. To be rebellious, especially as a teen, you think about, that age range, that 14 to 17 age range. Why are they being rebellious? It's because you finally are on the cusp of adulthood. You're thinking ahead of like how your life is going to be. You're realizing responsibility and a lot of things that people have told you or the way that you're currently living will not get you what you are predicting for yourself. So the rebellious teen is having an inner conflict with what the world has told them to be. This is where that rebellion has come from. All my life, I've been told to be a certain way, to not speak only when spoken to. And, you know, we got some principles there, but no true definition. They are defining themselves. So it seems rebellious, but it's like everything's up for questioning at this point. And the only thing that we think of is like, tell the teens, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. It's a whole lot of no's. And it's like, well, what should I do? Everybody's figuring it out, right? After all of this discipline, you have not gotten in tune with discipline as a teenager. So after all of this discipline, now I want to wild out. At least let me see what it's like. If they don't have that experience, they don't know how bad it is or what they can handle. Not encouraging anything. Just explaining this rebellious teen phase. This rebellious teen phase is a phase of self-identity. I had it, and I didn't have it for long because I knew who I was, and I couldn't fight it. I did the whole popularity thing, and I was like, I don't even like these people, but I want them to like me. That's taking too much energy. I had responsibility. I was like, hey, my family ain't gonna eat tonight if I don't do something. That was my character development. I got to make sure that we got something to eat. You know, doing something. I had goals. Like, yeah, all of us in high school thinking about walking across the stage, but I made that an actual goal because if I hadn't, it wouldn't have happened. I was working 2 jobs. 17 years old. I was working 2 jobs. I ain't have a definite roof over my head. I'm at this friend's house. I'm at this friend's house, this cousin's house, you know, all over the place. I had to go through night school and I'm trying to look out for my family. And I had to pay for night school myself. So I had made walking across that stage an actual goal. I had to work to that. So I had something to focus on and reason for discipline. So no, I can't entertain all of the foolishness, all of the hanging out, parties. I don't think I went to a party as a teen. Well, not as a teenager, but in high school, I don't think I ever went to a party. And most of the parties, oh, they got in a fight or, such and such, this broke out. This. I'm like, I don't want no parts of that anyway. There was a part of my rebellious teen phase where I wanted to fight. I was angry. I was angry at the world for the positions that I was put in, my current circumstances. I didn't feel like I was learning anything else. I wasn't learning anything else at school. So I was like, why am I here? Why do I have to spend most of my day here? Like I said, I had real responsibility, wanted to take care of my family. So I'm like, just school is in the way. And then I'm around other peers who don't have the same lifestyle as me, who are judging me based on the difference. Like you got it good, bro. Like you could have the new Jordans and stuff, like, and you over here talking about my shoes that I had to buy myself. This is different, bro. Yes, I was angry. I had a compound of anger, which led to the rebellious teen. The rebellious teen is not normal. We've normalized it. See, what we're supposed to do as a community, can't have community without communication. What we're supposed to do as a community is have these things like the stuff that we figured out late. We're supposed to be able to show that and teach that to the next generation. But we've gotten so far away from communication and accountability and responsibility. We've become so independent in our focus. Our mental is individualism that we don't help each other. Like truly. Like truly. There's been a many a times where I corrected a teen and it's like their parents don't even tell them that. So who am I to tell them to straighten up, pull your pants up, walk, walk with confidence, don't talk that way. Don't, be cursing out here. Like have some self-respect. What you mean? You know? That rebellious teen phase is not normal. We supposed to be able to guide them and tell them, throughout this entire upbringing, we supposed to be able to guide, teach, and learn. We're supposed to be able to communicate, clarify some things. They supposed to be able to be comfortable enough to be able to ask us questions. But I knew as a teen, I was willing to ask, but adults were not willing to answer or didn't have an answer, which is understandable if you don't have an answer, but at least be willing to talk. Can't have community without communication. So the rebellious teen phase is a phase of self-identity. You are actually defining yourself. And it's like a wild moment because like within that self-identity, you're willing to try things. Things that could be permanent, like you're willing to try things. But it's because of how long you've been told no or how long that you've been outside of yourself. You got an inner conflict going on. Acknowledge that inner conflict. This is for everybody. Acknowledge your inner conflict. If on the inside you're supposed to be moving, but you staying, it's an inner conflict. On the inside, you're supposed to be staying, but you moving, it's an inner conflict. Anytime you are at odds with yourself, this is where self-identity comes into play. I want you to be aware of your inner turmoil because it could be real simple, but because it's us, because we feel it, it's complex, right? So we've went over self-identity, uh, who defines you, do you know who you are? Real question, right? Because once you know who you are, that shapes your choices, your mindset, your beliefs, your habits, and understand that every decision you've made in your life has led you to where you are right now. If you want to be in whatever is considered better predicaments for you, then you have to make better choices. How do you know what's a better choice for you if you don't know who you are? So it's a real question. Do you know who you are? Otherwise, you're going to keep entertaining things that does not align with you. You're going to keep going out your way for people who aren't doing the same for you, who aren't beneficial to you. You're going to keep spiraling. You're going to continue this inner conflict until you define who you are. And who you are has always been there. But your self discovery, you've always been you, but you keep going outside of you for what you consider you need. It's not until you at peace with self that you understand who you are. It's not until you love yourself, until you accept yourself, you're aware of yourself, that you will then start to make certain decisions. Okay, I can't entertain that no more because it doesn't align with me. It's draining, right? So now I had to put the boundary in place. Hey, listen, y'all go ahead. I don't want to do that no more, right? I gave you the signs that you don't fully know yourself. You're constantly seeking validation. You're struggling with decision making, people pleasing, or shape shifting, and feeling off or unfulfilled. If you don't know who you are, you will never feel fulfilled. You will never be fulfilled. Okay. Now, let's see. How to start knowing yourself. Because we spoke a lot about not and know. How to start knowing yourself. Slow down. My coach said, hey, you have to slow down to speed up. Slow down, right? Spend some time with you. Create some space to be still. This is where I'm at with a lot of my people who are like having a rough time with life. I'm thinking about my family, my loved ones who are like at odds with the life they are living. And it's not even that they're living a bad life, it's just not them. And I can see it. They know it, but it's like it's the life I'm living, so how do I stop living? You don't, but take some time to be with you. Slow down. Create some space to be still. Be with you so that you can actually ask these types of questions to get in touch with yourself, get in tune with yourself. Remember who you are. I encourage you to journal. I hope you got your pen and pad. Always, always, always. I got different journals for different things. Hope you got your journal. Write to yourself. When you write to yourself, it takes it out of mind. It's no longer a thought. You're literally getting it out of your head. Writing to yourself, talking to yourself gets it out of the mind, takes the weight off of it. Okay. Pay attention to what drains you versus energizes you. Something could be completely energizing to you that other people would say is a waste of time, is a waste of life, waste of money, is a complete waste. It's draining. It might be draining to them, but it's not draining to you. Some people look forward to getting in the bed. The bed has become their peace place. That's not a bad thing. You have a place to be peaceful. You ever had you might be one of those people, if going to bed, you get excited to go to bed, going to bed energizes you. And is deeper, a deeper meaning to that, but you can't even go to sleep. It's not even about going to sleep. It's just being at peace. This is a peace place. When you get into bed, that means you're done. You've done what you needed to do throughout the day. Pay attention to what drains you versus energizes you. And we're going to have to talk about that deeper because a lot of people consider discipline draining. It's not. It's just what are you being disciplined towards? If the purpose, if the goal, if whatever you decided to be disciplined towards is not fulfilling for you, then yes, it will drain you. But discipline towards something purposeful, something meaningful to you, you'll have the energy. Even if you don't want to do the thing, the task that you need to be disciplined in order to see fulfillment, whatever it is that you're working towards. So pay attention to what drains you versus what energizes you. Write it down. It says reconnect with childhood passions. There are some things that you love doing as a kid that as an adult you tell yourself you can't because now you have responsibility, you know, you're older, you don't want to look or seem childish. Okay, so here we are again, people pleasing and making decisions based on other people instead of ourselves. When you talk about self identity, huh? When we talk about self identity, pay attention. Reconnect with your childhood passions. It's all right to draw and color and build and, play games, frisbee and, sports and whatnot. It's okay. Play, do your puzzles and all of that. What were some of your childhood passions? How to start knowing yourself. You set boundaries and say no more. Set boundaries and say no more. Now, I want to, let's see, I want to offer a challenge for this week. We about to wrap this up. We about to wrap this live up, right? And I had a lot that I had a lot behind the scenes. That's why it's a little choppy. I ain't gonna lie. But I want to offer a challenge for this week. I have a list of self-discovery questions. The challenge for this week, I want you to write down and answer 5 of these self-discovery questions. You ready? First question. What are 3 words you would use to describe yourself? What are 3 words you would use to describe yourself? Second question. What did I love doing as a child that I've stopped doing? What did I love doing as a child that I've stopped doing? Question 3. What does success mean to me? I've had so many conversations in the past week with that alone. That's how we got to the last live, is like so many people are doing what is considered success from societal norms. And society is y'all see where our society is right now. Y'all see where our society is right now. So if you was to say, hey, you know, finish school, go to college, get a degree, get a good job, have a family, get a house and a car. That's the setup for success. That's the image of success. Most people realize how big of a plot that is. All of that just screams debt. Get into debt as early as you can. If you don't do this strategically, I've done it, like just trying to do what is considered right or considered successful. It isn't until you know who you are that you define your own success. I spoke to a young lady. She said, man, I'm finally in a healthy relationship, but it was with someone who I did not, you know, it's not in her age group. Like this guy is older than her, but she's happy. It's like, okay, so it was society telling you to date within your age range. Maybe your age range don't work for you. Still be an adult, but don't like you don't have to conform to question number 3. What does success mean to you? Question number 4. What kind of people do I attract and why? Real question. Yeah. It's like, what about me is attracting these type of people? Like, I got to get myself together. Question number 5. What's one thing I could do to align with my ideal self this week? This week is the challenge. Answer those 5 questions truthfully for you. Write them down, write down your answers, look at it. Those questions again. 1, what are 3 words you'd use to describe yourself? 2, what did I love doing as a child that I've stopped doing? 3, what does success mean to me? 4, what kind of people do I attract and why? 5, what's one thing I could do to align with my ideal self this week? Write those questions down, answer those questions, and improve yourself. Align with yourself. Remember who you are. Identify who you are. And once you have that clear picture, ain't no smudges. The only thing we could do is add color from there. We always improving the mind. So, knowing yourself, say, mindset is everything. Once you know yourself, you define your mindset, how you think, what you think, why, right? I encourage you to continue this self reflection. This may be the last live that we're doing for May, the Mental Health Awareness Month, but we're always here. And we're always going to be talking about mental health. We're always going to be talking about mental health awareness. But you will continue your growth from here, right? And thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody. Share this with whoever you need to share it with. Um, and remember to learn to love the person you are. Okay. Until you know who you are, you will never be fulfilled. Until you know who you are, you will never be fulfilled. Only you can define you. Make it happen, man. It's the Mindset Monday. Much love to everybody. I see you on the next one. Peace.